Hello and welcome to the welcome video for CIS285 online object-oriented programming. The first thing I'd like to do is to go to the printable course schedule in the Getting Started page of Blackboard. And shortly we'll get to see it. There it is. You can see here at the top that says all assignments are due Sunday night by 11:30 p.m. at the end of each week. So you have a whole week to do all the work listed herein. But at 11:30 is chopping off. You can't go back and submit something that you didn't do because a whole week is plenty of time. Now, for week one, of course, you're watching the introduction video per the schedule. You download your data files. So let's go back and let me show you where they are. You got to have your data files to work through the chapters. And you have to work through each chapter and do all the little assignments and things in there in order to be able to do the project. Now, I'm going to record a video for each chapter, a lecture, but it's not going to contain all the minutiae in the book. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to hit the high spots and tell you some things that the book don't tell you. So you'll have to work your work with my videos in order to be ready. Okay, so if we go to content, you'll see student resources. So you click on that and you'll see data files. And there's some little things in here that I may refer you to eventually. But the data file is the most important thing. So let's go back to Getting Started. And the printable course schedule, or calendar as they're calling it. If you haven't seen my calendars before, this shows the entire, the ending of the week when everything is due. This tells you what we're going to be doing and what you're going to be delivering. Project 1, I will have a video on that. That's how we know that you're in compliance with the online course schedule. You'll have to do that, zip it up, and submit it per my instructions in order to be considered in attendance. If you don't do that and everything that's listed here for week 1, you'll be dropped for not attending. So that's the way that goes. I've got some reading assignments, and notice it says memorize key terms. So you got to commit all those key terms to memory. So what you need to do is just kind of read through chapter 1 before you start working through chapter 1, because you're going to have to work through these chapters before you can do the projects. That's just how you're going to learn it. And your projects are in Blackboard. Now the second thing you need to do is click on this link and download Visual Studio 2015, the Community Edition, which is free. However, you've got to have a really good broadband connection because it takes a while, and then you have to install it. It doesn't take too long. So before you can do Project 1, you have to do these two things. All right, and if you don't do Project 1, you're not in attendance compliance. So you need to get on this rather quickly. Okay. You'll work your way through chapter 1, but there's no project other than this, which is really not necessarily related completely to chapter 1. That's just your attendance project. I'm going to take you through how to create a basic project, do a few little things, zip it up, upload it, submit it for grading, which there's no grade for project 1, but anyway, it gets you in the habit of doing it. Okay, so you have to download this and install it. You have to get your data files. You have to get your textbook. And you have to start working your way through these chapters. This is super important. Now, I don't grade that, okay? I do not grade the chapter work. I grade the project assigned at the end of each chapter. It may come from the book, or it may be something that I modify and put out there. It just depends. Right now, I've got it all set up from the book, but I'll probably do some changes to that. So, let's go to my schedule. For those of you who need face-to-face help, I have a schedule here in Blackboard. It shows you my student hours. If you need help and you're close to the campus, the Dothan campus, then you should, avail yourself of that. Otherwise, we're just going to have to handle it through emails and announcements and that sort of thing. Of course, your video would be right here. I'm recording it, so I haven't put it up yet. And let's finally go to the syllabus and just look at the grading. Now, if you can't make the midterm dates times or the final exam date times listed in the printable course calendar, then there's a link at the bottom of the last screen. We went to the Getting Started page where you're going to have to go and download some files, fill them out, email them in, in order to get approval, and you'll have to do that a couple weeks ahead of time as it takes time to go through the chain. Plus, you'll probably have to pay, if you use ProctorU, you'll have to pay for that. I do the best I can to work with you, but, and I have things scheduled on 2 campuses, but sometimes, people just, it doesn't work out. So, and that's when the Proctor comes in. All right, so always email me through Blackboard email. That is very important because I will get it. I will see it. If you leave me a message on the phone, I'll get it, but it might be a couple of days. It just depends on where I'm at and what I'm doing. If you send me a regular email through wallace.edu/mail or your student email, depending on the subject line, I may see it, I may not. It may go into a junk folder. So always exclusively communicate with me through Blackboard email or face-to-face. Let's see. I think this is right. Let me go back just a minute. I just saw something. Yeah, there it is. So you got to have a way to run Windows 10 and Visual Studio 2015 in order to complete this course. You can't use anything else. You can't use some other compiler that I'm not familiar with. It has to be Visual Studio 2015. Okay. All right. So everything is set up based on percentages. Your programming projects are 40% of your grade. Midterm is 30%. Final exam is 30%. Okay. That's really the important part. Everything else you can kind of look at. And there's a link to the college catalog. So that takes care of that. All right. So keep an eye out for Project 1 video. It will be located under Content. Come on. And then Video Lectures is where it's going to be. And I have some stuff out here already, which some of it you can see, some of it you probably don't need to see. This is from a while back, so I'm not really sure how much of it applies to this book, but I can use some of it to help you out. Our exams will be in Blackboard. Your writing assignments are here. So, just kind of poke around, find everything. But most of all, get ready for Project 1. And in order to do Project 1, what do you have to do? You have to download your data files in Blackboard. You have to download and install Visual Studio 2015 Community Edition, which is free. Then you have to watch the video on how to do Project 1 and follow those steps. So you'll be starting and stopping the video quite a lot. All right. This also gets you acclimated to how we do things as far as saving and where you're going to put it and all. All righty. Well, I think we'll enjoy it and hope to hear from you soon.